The battle begins now as expected. Bitcoin begins its very big retest to validate its bullish move once and for all. As the bulls wait in anticipation, the bears wet their palms with their spit in anticipation of their final blast. And Bitcoin approaches the critical retest zone here, where over 4 significant indicators point to. Will the bulls lie down and let themselves be violated by the bears? Or will the bears embarrass themselves and bust too early? I'm your host, Bobby Beandip, and on this channel we like to dip our toes in the slop, slime, and sludge so you don't have to. Holy guacamole, is this the beginning in the middle of the week of this retest we've been talking about? This is absolutely very big, because if Bitcoin continues this downward momentum, which it very much looks like it's going to in the short term, as we've gotten some crosses and some very significant indicators on these very short time frames, the question is, will Bitcoin be able to stop this downtrend exactly where it needs to and confirm this absolute blast off once and for all? Or in fact, will the bulls run, crying, screaming, and scared, back into their mommy's arms? So you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And without any further magoo, let's dump on in. Well, if we take a look on this daily chart, it very much looks as if we are going to see that decisive move very shortly here. Now, this is something you should be expecting, because we've been talking about this since June 13th, the very likely possibility of getting a retest in this insanely important zone where we have horizontal resistance, the point of control of VPVR volume, the top of this ascending broadening, or this descending channel that we broke out of on June 13th, and as well the 21-day moving average. Everything lines up here. And again, this will be very interesting to see what I think is going to be over the next 24 to 36 hours, if Bitcoin's going to be absolutely able to hold this level. Now, again, keep in mind, we could easily wick down a little bit below this, as long as we kind of don't spend a lot of time down there and pretty quickly get back up here, get significant 6-hour and daily closes in and around and above this level. That is what's most important. But this is the final big test, because for the last couple of, actually over a week now, we've had a lot of upside momentum, going from about 30,000 or 31,000 all the way up to about 41.3 thousand. So a 33% upside move since June 8th. So 8 days we've been pretty much to the upside, aside from one little itsy bitsy retest right here after failing to hold the 21-day and then bouncing right back above it. This is a really big test. So this is good for the bulls, but this is where the bears have to perform, because the bears have multiple levels they need to break through. Not only this absolutely gigantic level between 36.5 and 37,000 US dollars, there's also a pretty, insanely substantial level down here at about 34,000 US dollars. So over the past few weeks, it's been pretty bloody, or at least since the crash on May 19th, it's been pretty dumpy. It's been pretty much to the downside. However, during that entire chaos, those few weeks when we were getting beaten, battered, and bruised, what Bitcoin did was build some support that was previously not really that significant. Okay, if we go all the way back to January, this level was built up a little bit. But now, after defending this level, we have even more confidence and more support in this level, or in this range. So bears actually have a very big task ahead of them. At this moment in the short term, bulls have the advantage. Overall, bears obviously have a bigger advantage, because on these longer time frames, obviously Bitcoin was destroyed the last month. So bulls are at a disadvantage there. But in the very short term, bulls have the advantage. And this is the last test. Like, if the bulls defend this level, this will be absolutely huge. And we're going to see a pretty nice move to the upside. What I think is going to be at least above this 200-day moving average, above 43,000 US dollars very soon. I think that's the next move. So if the bulls can actually defend this level, we're going to have a pretty nice upside shot here, and it's going to really change a lot of the momentum in the entire market. So far, the bulls have put on a little bit of a show over the last few days, but this is the real big test. As bears are in control today, can they push Bitcoin below 36.5 and worst case 34,000 US dollars? And as well, our very first short-term indicator here was this 21 crossing back below the 50 on this short-term moving average, as we kind of failed the 21 and then ultimately tried to ride the 50 on this hourly chart. That was the indication that we're going to have a downside move. And in fact, we got this cross, and immediately after, we're starting to see this downside dumpy move. And as you can see on this hourly chart, this is the major first defense zone that needs to hold. And again, I think this is going to be by far Bitcoin's strongest support of this entire pullback. So it'll be very interesting to see if Bitcoin can ultimately maintain these levels. Keep in mind, it could wick a little bit below this on some very short-term timeframes, but ultimately, if it gets all the significant closes in this range from about 36,500 up to 37,000, that is what's most important. This is a very, very big test. If we go to the 4-hour chart as well, you can see the same thing. We kind of have this golden retrace, or like the golden pocket, in that exact same level on the 6-hour chart. You guys can see all the VBVR volume on the side here that's been built up over the last few weeks, actually the last month, and even going back to January, that was pretty big. But by this point, we have two pretty macro levels of support that have built up for Bitcoin around the $35,000 level. That I think has become pretty strong. And as well, on this 6-hour chart, we do have this 21 moving average coming in clutch here. This is very, very big here. We got this bullish cross about 2 or 3 days ago, and that helped initiate, or it was kind of like after we already had this nice pump to the upside. But again, this is where we're finding support right now. It is also, for the most part, it is a pretty side or horizontal level of support that Bitcoin has been facing as resistance for quite an amount of time as well. So Bitcoin really needs to perform here. But ultimately, guys, yeah, if we go to this 1-hour chart, or sorry, the daily chart, you can see this is obviously shaping up to be what I think is going to be that retest. It probably is going to be staggered along the way. It might not happen just today, but we are seeing that momentum build up. As well, we have Bitcoin dominance continuing to go up here. On the daily chart, we have the 50-day being breached. Obviously, the 21 was breached like last week, and now we've breached this, and we continue to set higher levels of dominance. And the DXY, take a look at this, absolutely pretty big pump today, over 1%. I think the Fed had like their meeting today. Nothing bad on crypto regulation, so that was something important to take from that. Pretty much the only thing super important for the crypto space was that there was no like I don't think the SEC is going to be coming after crypto this year. I don't think there's going to be any Fed changes or regulations with crypto this year. And the DXY continues to pump here. So again, probably another reason why we're seeing a downward move in Bitcoin, because when the DXY has pretty nice moves to the upside, usually Bitcoin has pretty nice moves to the downside. Well, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those good notifications, these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. If you're interested in hardware wallets or TA or any bonuses or anything like that, make sure to check out the comments. But without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.